How has the procurement world changed since the day your matrix was introduced?
Yeah, first also thanks for the invitation. I really enjoyed being here and it's honored. But I think procurement changed in many ways, as I mentioned. In a way, it's changing with the changes in the world economy. And as I mentioned before, today the global market and also the global supply market is much more global as it was before, much more complex, it's much more volatile. And these are the major things which change. And you, as supply managers or procurement, must be ready to deal with these changes. Just to mention technological revolution, to mention new opportunities created in global markets and so on. So there's a lot of new opportunities which can be exploited by purchasing management.
If you were to create matrix today, would it be the same?
I think the matrix would be the same. Probably some of the categories, also the categories would be the same, only the position maybe of individual buying categories or products would change, because some things which have been bottlenecks before might now become a commodity. Some things which nobody talked about before might now become a bottleneck. Like just take the discussion recently in the car industry about the new batteries and lithium. Lithium is becoming a bottleneck controlled by the Chinese. So what do you do if you want to provide the batteries for the next generation of electrical cars?
You mentioned globalization. How do you believe globalization impacts the way procurement is done today?
I think the impact of globalization is in many ways. You know, it offers first new opportunities, and means opportunities on the market, also new opportunities on the supply market. It offers new technologies. If you talk about technologies, technological revolution, and now talking about digitalization, which is going to be the next major shift and change in the total environment, including procurement. You can also talk about the change of behavior of the companies. There's a more and more concentration, shifting of production, hands and forth. More and more also the war for talent, as we said. You have to really try to get the best people in the different regions if you want to succeed. So it's becoming a much more complex, but at the same time volatile environment. And this is the biggest impact I think globalization has. It will not change, it will not go away. We will have the global market, but the regional or political differences might influence it in a way which you have to be prepared for. More events, more unexpected situations.
How do you believe emerging procurement market influence the procurement, and what is the role of Poland as an emerging procurement market?
I think that Poland still has a big opportunity as a procurement market, because first we're a big country with a lot of population, you have a number of companies, and I also looked at some statistics, quite a number of suppliers also, and the quality is reasonable. But if the changes in procurement market were basically often in the beginning driven by the cost, but now the total costs have changed. Logistical costs are changing, information is changing, transparency is changing. So I think if you consider all these factors and ensure that that Poland remains competitive, and we're coming now back to competitiveness, that Poland remains competitive as a supplier market, as a buyer market, Poland will play a very key role, not only for Europe, but also maybe for some other regions. So there is a big opportunity for Poland under condition that you exploit it, because your competitiveness, as we said, is not yet up to date. You are number 34 or whatever, and that's not good. You must try to be among the top 15 countries. Then your buyer market will succeed.
What kind of advices you have for procurement managers and directors? What should they do?
What should do? It's more also how should they behave. I think first that the top procurement officers, they must make sure to make the company aware of strategic importance of procurement or of supply management. And this also calls for the right positioning of procurement or supply management in the corporate organization. If the corporate function, the supply function, is not yet positioned on the board level, then I think something must be done about it. As I asked today, there was quite a few companies where, in Poland at least what I have seen, where the CPO is also a member of the corporate board. So this is a very important positioning, because it gives you a corporate clout. And the third advice would be really look for the best talent to come to the purchasing, to develop the right talent. Of course, the talent will have come and go, but purchasing can become a kind of radiator or of the talent, top management talent coming to purchasing, staying in purchasing or moving ahead. And that would also further strengthen the position of supply function within the total corporation. So awareness, hierarchical position, and talent would be my key advice.
How would you convince a CEO and CFO that procurement should be part of the company board?
I think the best way to convince him is to show him on one side the impact you can have on the total corporate performance and on profits, because whatever you save, let's put it that way, on the procurement goes straight to the bottom line. The second way is to show how you can add to the value created. That's why I said today, you should procure value, not cost, or create value, not cost, to show what value can be added. For example, more and more importance for many companies is long-term sustainability. It's ecological footprint of your company. Here, purchasing can do a lot. And the best companies are aware of that and are already looking for that because it's part of corporate social responsibility. And the third way is to show them what are the downside risks if you don't have a sustainable supply strategy. And I think any intelligent CEO or CFO, if you see the numbers and the facts, would understand what's the importance of supply management.
Thank you. You were talking that you were in Poland about 40 years ago. So coming now, probably you had some prejudices how the procurement works within the country. Could you comment on that and tell us how do you see Poland versus the rest of the European Union?
No, I have no prejudices at all about Poland. I always see Poland as a most important country of Central and Eastern Europe who joined now European Union, but you are, as all the other countries for Central Europe, including my home country Slovenia, you are a transition country. And Poland has to do a lot to catch up on level of competitiveness, as we have seen. You are number 34 now. I said you should be at least under the top 15. So looking from outside, there is progress, but not yet enough progress. You could do more, not only in political level, with creating a better environment, also corporate level, to increase sophistication of your companies, of your management, and including your buyers. When I looked at the latest statistic about 2 or 3 years ago, Polish buyers were, in terms of sophistication, positioned in place 90 out of 140 countries. So this is not the best position. And today I was surprised when I saw or yesterday also, I saw the quality of your programs, the quality of presentations, the quality of discussion. So I think you are moving ahead, but you should move even faster to really position purchasing, as I said, as a core function, which it deserves to be.
So the bold question, why have you decided to join our conference? Why you were convinced?
I mean, why they decided beyond your charm or what? First I felt honored, I must say, that you invited me to Poland. There's a lot of it was my curiosity to see where does Poland or Polish companies, or where do you stay on the terms of or issues of supply management. And one reason is, I said already before, Poland is a very important country, much more important than you maybe imagine. It is right now a little bit at odds with Europe, but I don't think why. I don't understand why, because a lot of things which you can change has nothing to do with Brussels. It's your own cooking. Whatever you could do on macro level, on the state level, your government can do it without interference with Brussels. Whatever you can do on this mezzo level, clusters and regions, you can do it. Whatever you can do on micro level, on the companies, you can also do it. So why don't you do it? And the last one would be in the people level. As I say, education, innovation, productivity, and values. If you focus on that, you'll be fine. So in that content, I was very pleased yesterday, today, from what I saw. I was a little bit disappointed when, for example, I asked how many people know this World Economic Forum analysis of or IMD, and just 1 or 2 hands were raised. That's not enough. So that would be my last advice. Be more open to that, study that, see what's good, where do we have some deficiency, and what should we do to reduce those deficiency and move Poland forward at a faster pace, which you deserve and should have.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.